But I remember a day in 2004 when I went out on our front porch and I saw a young man sweeping the driveway of the business across the street from us. I went out on the porch a couple of times and I watched this kid, and I was kind of struck by how particular he was being and how efficient he was. But I could see that there was something about this kid's work ethic. So I walked across the street and I introduced myself. I said hello and I offered him a job. I was just struck by this kid and how he worked on that afternoon, and I just knew that he had the potential to be a great employee, and so I offered him a job. That was in 2004, and Kai Banta has been with us ever since.
Being hired between my junior and senior year, stayed part-time while I finished high school my senior year. I started my first semester at Snow College, and at that point it was still just, it was a job that was providing and, you know what I mean, giving me money and getting me by. But then when I started dating and that started to get more serious and started thinking of the future, the business had grown a little more and there was a little more opportunity for it to be a full-time, maybe a little longer position. He said, well, there is a place here. You know, I can't tell you how long it's for, but for right now, there's a full-time job with benefits and things like that if you would like it. And so that's basically where it started.
But he came into the business at a really fun time. The 2000s were extremely busy for us, but they were fun because we were growing, and we were growing fast. Kai and I worked really closely in concert on a lot of different projects, kind of brought the business into a little bit more modern version of what it used to be. And so he was here from very early on in that process. He worked in the yard for 10 years, running the machines, you know, doing a lot of the order fulfillment, loading trucks, mixing seed, and very much in the trenches.
You know, you're more the foreman, you'll kind of oversee, you know, the guys outside and take care of things, and you know what I mean, that side of it. The thought of what I do now had never even crossed my mind. It was never even, will we get to that point, will that ever be an option? That wasn't even, you know what I mean, we didn't even talk about that. You
know, as those years moved on and his skill set grew, he started working more and more with customers, and we put him in a sales position where he was kind of working in both of those worlds. And eventually we put him in more of like a head of operations kind of thing.
You know, still taking care of the crews and still working outside, but then, you know, maybe I'll make my own tags for the orders and I arrange my own truck to pick the things up, or, you know, things like that. It just very slowly started working into what I'm doing now, and it just kind of evolved over time.
And he is now our operations manager and an indispensable part of our company.
The biggest part of what I oversee is I oversee most of the physical operations of things, you know, all the crews as far as the hiring, the firing, the scheduling, you know, when we slow down, when we get busy. When orders come in, I organize, I decide what's priority, what needs to be first, you know, what guy needs to be taken care of.
He loves things to be perfect, which makes him ideally suited for the position that he works in. That's how we want our customers to think of us. If it's good enough for Kai, everybody's going to love it.